Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Cristiano Ronaldo has been named Manchester United's Player of the Month for October. That's back-to-back awards for Ronaldo, because he got named Premier League Player of the Month back in September. Ronaldo has done really well since he's re-signed. He scored 9 goals for Manchester United in all competitions so far. Ronaldo saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in Manchester United's 2-2 draw against Atalanta, because Ronaldo scored twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. Ronaldo scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. Ronaldo scored a very good volley last week in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. Also scored the winning goal against Villarreal earlier on this season. We are relying on Ronaldo too much. Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall. Ronaldo has got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt, and we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Now, Zinedine Zidane could be Manchester United's next manager. Manchester United have begun talks with Zinedine Zidane. Reports from Spain have said that Zinedine Zidane has rejected the Newcastle job as he's waiting for the Man United or France job. Reports from Spain said earlier on this season that Zidane is not interested in becoming Manchester United manager if Man United sack Solskjaer. It did mention that Zinedine Zidane is enjoying life away from football management. I think Zinedine Zidane would be the right manager for Manchester United, because Zinedine Zidane would get us back to that level where we should be at. I think he would be capable of winning trophies if he came to Manchester United, and he would suit the strappings of the club. And Zinedine Zidane is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. Zidane has never managed in the Premier League, so it would be good to see him experience the Premier League. Zidane is obviously managerless because he left Real Madrid in the summer. He won a lot of trophies when he was Real Madrid manager. In regards to Solskjaer, Solskjaer is under pressure at Manchester United. I presume some pressure eased off him after the 3-0 win against Tottenham last weekend. Solskjaer should not be Manchester United manager now. Solskjaer should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool the other week. And obviously, reports were saying after that 5-0 defeat to Liverpool that Man United were considering sacking Solskjaer, and he said Man United stars were losing the faith in the manager and Solskjaer was also losing the fans. After that game against Liverpool, Solskjaer refused to resign, and he also said it was his darkest day as a manager. Manchester United must pay Solskjaer £7.5 million if they decide to sack him, because back in the summer Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. And we made a mistake giving Solskjaer that contract. I can assure he won't see it out. Ed Woodward, though, is refusing to sack Solskjaer. So reflecting on that, we may have to stick with Solskjaer until at least January, regardless of what happens, because Woodward is not leaving Manchester United until January. The City game tomorrow could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last game in charge. I think defeat to City should end Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United. If we win, then obviously we'll stick with him a bit longer. But Solskjaer is certainly not the long-term manager for Man United. I just feel as though that the expectations are far too high for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager, and Solskjaer's lowered the standards at the club as manager, and I just think Solskjaer is in a position that he shouldn't be in. I hate saying this regarding him, but I'm just being realistic. We all want Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager, but unfortunately, he's not going to. He's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Ole has been Manchester United manager for almost 3 years, so reflecting on that, he's had long enough. And Solskjaer has no more excuses, does he? Because Manchester United endured a very good summer transfer window this year, made 4 signings, brought Sancho in, Varane, re-signed Ronaldo after 12 years, and obviously brought Tom Heaton in. And Solskjaer's received very strong backing by the board. Solskjaer's endured like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager, and Manchester United have also got a very good squad. It's a title winning squad, so in reality Manchester United should be winning the Premier League this season. And Solskjaer did say at the start of this season that his ambition was to win the Premier League this season. Manchester United have not won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years or so ago now. But reflecting on the poor performances and poor results we've had this season, not all of the blame stems from the manager. Like I've said before, there's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances and poor results. But I've got concerns about Solskjaer's decision making, because analysing the vast majority of the games he's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. And my other big concern about Ole is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. Analysing the vast majority of Solskjaer's games, he's obviously gone with the 4-2-3-1 formation. But obviously in the last 2 games, he's gone with the 3-5-2 formation. We do look very, very expansive though in that 3-5-2 formation. You know, Solskjaer may stick with the 3-5-2 against Man City tomorrow. I said in my predicted 11, I think he'll revert back to the 4-2-3-1, because I think Solskjaer will find it difficult to stick with that 3-5-2 formation. But there is positives regarding Solskjaer, don't get me wrong. You know, I think in certain aspects Solskjaer has brought consistency back. I do like the way Solskjaer develops the youth. That's a positive. Solskjaer has more or less given everybody their chances to express themselves. Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. You know, Solskjaer has signed 14 players. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. Back in January 2020, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. In the summer of 2020, he brought Edison Cavani in, Donny van der Beek, Alex Telles, Amad Diallo and Facundo Pellistri. And in this year's summer transfer window, like I've already said, he brought Sancho in, Varane, re-signed Ronaldo and brought Tom Heaton in. Manchester United have spent over £400 million under Solskjaer. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of players since his coming. He loaned quite a few players out in this year's summer transfer window. Obviously, he loaned Brandon Williams out, Andres Pereira, Tuan Zebe, Ethan Laird, Tahith Chon and Facundo Pellistri. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of players permanently as well. Obviously, sold Daniel James in this year's summer transfer window. He was the only player Manchester United sold in this year's summer transfer window, so that was disappointing from a Man United perspective. Ole also released Sergio Romero and Joe Pereira. He also offloaded Borthwick Jackson and James Wilson. Back in January, he offloaded Igalo, Foster-Mensah and Rojo. Solskjaer's also let players like Young, Valencia and Smalling go, and that trio were long-serving players at the club. He also offloaded Darmian. Fellaini left back in January 2019, Angel Gomez left, Herrera left. I think we made a mistake getting rid of Herrera. Also offloaded Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, so there you go. And you can say that some progress has been made under Solskjaer because he's got us to semi-finals. You know, last season he got us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager. But unfortunately we didn't win it. And last season Solskjaer got us a second place finish, and in his first full season he got us a third place finish. We've also extended a lot of players' contracts under Ole. But I expected Solskjaer to do far worse than he has done, so in that aspect I am shocked. You've got to say Solskjaer has done a pretty good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive, massive job. Not only that, he knew it was going to be a difficult job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. And he knew he had a lot to do when he came in. But like I've said to you before, I adore Solskjaer. You know, reflecting on what he's done for the club, at the end of the day, Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. You know, if Solskjaer ends up getting sacked, he will be the fourth permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. Sacked Moyes, sacked Van Gaal and sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United are going to offload players next year. Pogba looks like he's going on a free next summer because Pogba wants out and Pogba has refused to sign a new contract. Mark Ogden from ESPN said not so long ago that Man United are prepared to let Paul Pogba go on a free transfer next summer after accepting that the midfielder will not sign a contract. It said after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool that Pogba snubbed Solskjaer, in the Liverpool defeat, and reflecting on that, contract talks were put on hold. Obviously, Pogba got sent off for that two-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pogba didn't start against Liverpool, but he did come on as a substitute. Pogba has obviously got 2 games left to serve in the league out of the 3-match ban he got. Pogba recently played in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta, and Pogba was very, very poor because he made quite a lot of errors and he just looked very sloppy, and reflecting on that, he got heavily criticised. Andy Mitten, though, from The Athletic, came out earlier on this season and said that Man United offered Paul Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Man United. That would see Pogba become the second highest earner at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives around £290,000 a week. And Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. I think Pogba wants to go back to Juventus. He did enjoy 4 good years with them before he rejoined Man United. PSG have been in for Pogba. Barcelona have been in for Pogba. Said earlier on this season that he'd been offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. But I do believe Pogba is a good player, and he's not only a good player, he's an imperative player. He's done well in the league so far this season. He's provided 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he's sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Manchester United. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's Man United's most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. I think Donny van de Beek will be leaving Manchester United in January, because Donny van de Beek is not getting enough game time at Manchester United. Van de Beek didn't start in the 2-2 draw with Atalanta recently, but he did come on as a substitute. Solskjaer has to start Van de Beek, especially in the Premier League, because he is a good player. Prior to the game against Liverpool, Solskjaer did admit that Van de Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. Earlier on this season, it said Van de Beek was furious with Solskjaer. Earlier on this season, Van de Beek told Solskjaer his best position he reckons he'd be best served up. What? I don't know. Chips and nuggets. Sorry, as I was saying, yeah, reckons he'd be best served up at his number 6 or his number 8. And earlier on this season, Van de Beek told... he had an interview with Rio Ferdinand, didn't he? Talking about his future. Earlier on this season, it said Van de Beek's agent is said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. Many clubs have been in for Van de Beek, so he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Van de Beek's endured a difficult, 19 months at Man United, and this season is his 2nd full season at Man United. Got Van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025, and Van de Beek's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. I think Matic could be going next year as well. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still gets his opportunities. Surprisingly though, Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. I've got my reservations about Matic despite him having some good games at Manchester United. Matic has been at Manchester United for like 4.5 years. We got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. I think Jesse Lingard is going next year. Well, Lingard's planning to run down his contract anyway, because earlier on this season it said Lingard rejected a new Man United contract offer because of 2 players. And it said as well he rejected a contract over playing time concerns. Lingard's current contract at Man United expires at the end of the season. ESPN said earlier on this season that Lingard was a target for Barcelona and AC Milan. Lingard's been part of the club for a long time. At the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. I think Solskjaer wants Lingard to stay at Manchester United. I think Juan Mata is going next year. Obviously, Juan Mata doesn't get in the team. Plus, Juan Mata's lost that yard of pace and he's ageing up. But despite that, I reckon he's had a good career at Manchester United. Juan Mata has made over 200 appearances for Man United in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. He's been at Manchester United for like 7.5 years, so he's been a very long-serving player. The first part of last season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia, and we got Juan Mata back in 2014 from Chelsea for £40 million. Mata can play as an attacking midfielder, he can also play as a right winger. I think Cavani's leaving next year, unfortunately. I don't want him to leave with the impact he's made since he's come to Manchester United. By the way, Cavani can't play in the Manchester derby. Cavani didn't start against Atalanta recently, but he did come on as a substitute. Obviously, he played in the 3-0 win against Tottenham last weekend, and what an impact Cavani made in that game. You know, Cavani scored a very good goal. It was a lovely dink over Hugo Lloris. Cavani should have scored in the first half against Tottenham because he had a very good headed chance that just went wide. Cavani was playing alongside Ronaldo and that was very intriguing. Cavani and Ronaldo do play well together. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. We got Cavani on a free transfer. Cavani's got a very good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. Not only that, he was a long-serving player when he was at PSG. He's got under a year left on his Man United contract. Back in May, Cavani signed that 1-year contract extension. Yeah, I think Martial's going next year because Martial doesn't really get in the team. Plus, he's no longer good enough to represent the club, and Martial has just come back from injury not so long ago. Before the start of this season, it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial. For some reason, Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy in Martial. That explains why Solskjaer gave Martial that number 9 shirt. The best season I recall Martial having was his debut season under Van Gaal. Martial has been at Manchester United for like 6.5 years. He's got 3 years left on his contract. Last season, Martial was out with a knee injury for a while. We got Martial for 54 million from Monaco back in 2015. I also think Telles will be leaving next year. He's a good left back, Telles, but he doesn't really get in the team. Telles will only play if Luke Shaw's not available. Tellez was out with injury earlier on this season. The reason we brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Shaw. We got Tellez for 15.4 million from Porto last year. I think Jones is going next year as well. Maybe Bailly, he'll probably go next year because Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and for some reason Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Bailly. I can't understand why. I don't want Bailly to go though because he's a very good centre half. My only element of concern about Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect he's a liability. Towards the end of last season, Bailly got given a new contract until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly played in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta recently. I've got to give him credit. What a performance he put out. You know, he made some good blocks and he made some good interventions. It was the first game Bailly had played since the Carabao Cup game against West Ham earlier on in the season. I think Bailly needs to get more game time, definitely. I think Dalot is leaving Manchester United next year as well. Obviously, he's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Dalot will only play if Wan-Bissaka is not available, and I think Dean Henderson will be going out on loan next year because obviously Dean Henderson doesn't get his chances now, does he? Because De Gea reclaimed that number one spot back. Dean Henderson's only been in goal for one game so far this season. That was West Ham in the Carabao Cup, and he did well, to be fair. Don't forget, though, at one point, Dean Henderson was out with COVID for a while. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.